This is Write What You Know, the storytelling program on Biz 99.9 FM Substitute Radio. I'm your host Jeff Walker. Welcome and thank you for joining me. Today we will be reciting a short story called That Feeling. Enjoy the story. Part 1. The Fight. I held the gun up to eye level, similar to the shooting style in those Clint Eastwood films I watch. I'd never held a real gun before. It felt so much colder and heavier than I'd expected. She put her hands onto her hips in a sort of teapot position. She had an ugly smirk on her face, as if to say, "Go on, shoot me, if you have the guts to." Or maybe, "Do you really think that would scare me? What a joke, it takes a real man to fire a gun." She was about to open her mouth, no doubt to say something of the same caliber, but before she said anything, I made a rather impulsive decision. I shot her. Bang, the gun said. The gun nearly blew itself out of my hand, which came to my surprise. That never happens in the movies. By a fluke chance, I actually hit her, in her chest, on her left side, near her ribcage area, just below her left breast. I saw the bullet go in, but I wondered whether I'd actually hit her by the way she stood there. It was as if she was wondering whether to stay standing and staring at the lighting fixtures, or to sit down and have a conversation with me about what I just did. My confusion and suspicions were short-lived, as she placed both her hands on the area where she was shot, to put pressure on the wound, I presumed. She looked up at me. Her facial expressions kept changing every second as, no doubt, she was still coming to terms with the idea of being shot by me. At first she was confused, then in pain, then in anger. She then began swearing at me. She probably didn't understand what had happened, and wanted reassurance from me that something else had happened. "You shot me?" she asked. I did something with the gun inconspicuously. My mind was moving quickly, thinking about the events leading up to the fight, the firing of the gun, right now, and what I should be doing right now. I should be phoning an ambulance. Yeah, that's what normally happens on TV when people get shot. Her voice changed. She seemed to have come to grips with being shot, and was getting angry with me for shooting her. "You fucking shot me," she said. It was no longer an inquiry, it was now an accusation. I knew I needed to call an ambulance, or call for help, or tell someone they could help, or they could send for help, or they could call an ambulance. I didn't move though. My body's concentration, balance, and reaction time had all been badly affected by the overall shock of shooting her. "You fucking shot me." The intention and assertion in her voice had left. She was now just repeating herself mindlessly, in the hope of getting a reaction out of me. But to me, her screams were just uncontrollable and never-ending wailing that would affect me mentally for the rest of my life, similar to the ghosts in that Macbeth movie that I just recently watched. "You motherfucking shot me," she said. Her horrific crying couldn't be kept out. I couldn't think properly. I had been looking at her face for most of this time, but with her screaming at me, I looked at her body. She had lost a lot of blood, as her clothes were soaked with it. It had a funny look to it when I first saw it. I thought her outfit was grotesquely ugly and unpleasantly sexually appealing, because of how tight and revealing it was. But now with the blood on it, she looked like a clown, with long, red, wet rubber gloves. "You fucking shot me." My amusement to her attire didn't last. I decided to shoot her again. Bang, the gun said again. This time, it was just above her breast, and I knew from the movies that that was where her heart was. She fell down and never moved again. She was dead. Part 2. The Aftermath. Gemma is dead. I shot her. I've been sitting on the floor in her apartment for a few hours now. Gemma's dead body is lying near me. If I stretched my right foot out, I could probably make contact with her left high-heel shoe. During those hours, I'd thought a fair amount on what I felt that would make me kill someone, especially someone like Gemma, someone who I had loved so much. But during that time, I also thought about the indescribable and unusual feeling that I was experiencing inside of me. I once watched a World War II documentary, and an interviewed general was asked, "What does it feel like to shoot another man?" And he replied with, "It was the most incredible feeling." I now understand what the old general was talking about, for I am experiencing it now. The feeling is, as he said it, indescribable. It's like a composition of the human obsession with adrenaline or animal instincts to kill, a complete emotional stress release, and a fusion lock with the shock that we'd actually kill with the pleasure to the kill. With the simple act of murdering Gemma, I have completely understood humanity and its history. I now know why we've had so many wars, the battles, the nights, the armies, the bombs, the POWs, the torture, the murders, the spies, the minority rebel groups, the mercenaries, the bloodshed. It was all to feel this feeling. That is why people kill, and have always killed, and always will kill. It's to feel this feeling. There are some people who were probably introduced to this feeling while they were young, and as they aged, their want to feel this feeling grew, so they joined the army and kill enough innocent people to become addicted to this feeling, and then get shot and died. I understand now. I see the truth. Everything else in human history was worthless. Religion, money, possessions, sex. These are nothing but the reasons why all the wars in history have started. It was all an excuse to start a war, and to get that incredible feeling going through every human's body. I look at my hands for a moment, not for any particular reason, merely sentimental, symbolic, and metaphorical. They do it on TV all the time. I wonder whether religion had the right idea all along. I'm right now sitting on the floor of my dead ex-girlfriend's apartment covered in blood, so I don't know whether this is true or not. But it seems that religion's point of view on lifestyle is exactly what could be said about the feeling I got from killing Gemma. Most religions, give or take, are about, firstly, all suffering will be not in vain, as rewards will come, possibly in the next life. And, secondly, the more pleasure you willingly receive will hurt yourself spiritually. The same concept can be assumed when talking about this feeling. It's an incredible and obsessive emotion, but the only way to feel it is to kill something or someone, so it should not be felt under any circumstance. This feeling is pleasure, and to do the right thing is to resist the temptation of this pleasure. I am feeling a feeling that should never be felt. I can't stop this feeling. It's going through my body, my veins, my heart, and there's no way around it. It's hungry for blood. I want to kill again. Welcome back. That was the short story called That Feeling. I'm Jeff Walker, and you've been listening to Write What You Know on Biz 99.9 FM Substitute Radio. Please join me again for more fictional short story pieces. Till we meet again, take care and happy writing.